A14. Hello, hashtag Verse TV family, and welcome. I am Aaron Mack. That is who I am. I'm not yet wearing my brother's Etsy hat, but I do think I will actually, and you will see me in it. And he's actually got some really good stuff, and I look forward to working it out. Anyway, hashtag lacking pride, subtitle Target from apnews.com again. And of course, my love, hashtag for future husband, heart. Yes, subtitle tried. Mm-hmm. At tonight's conversation cards and has, mm, I was drinking water, sorry, but hashtag underrated hype TVA14. And this is coming, it says, it's not fair from Jay Reezy on his, what was released as a mixtape back in the day when like a lot of people were releasing mixtapes and a lot of the stuff was really good. His was one of it. And the mixtape entitled Buried Emotions, circa 2014. I was at 1914. That's ridiculous. Anyway, 2014, and it is available on at underrated hype TV on YouTube. All right. And this is all coming up this week on hashtag Verse TV 262, again, A14. And welcome. And as for the random question, for a second, I actually tried to get a random question on my other device, which is Apple, but that did not work because every app that I saw on Apple was an in app purchase app. And anybody who knows me knows that I detest applications with in app purchases. I remember huh, one of my Uber drivers one time. I have so many Uber driver stories, y'all, because I talk with them a lot, y'all. And I was talking with him, and he was like, somehow we got on the subject of the fact that he's actually a computer programmer. And I think it came up because I was like, yeah, my first 2 years in college, I was actually a computer science major, but then I switched and he's like, yeah, I do computer programming. I also do programming of cell phone applications. And I was like, oh, cool. And he's like, yeah, I programmed, like one of the things I did was I programmed a game on Android. And on that game, it is a horrible game. This is what he's saying. It's a horrible game. But I just made sure to inject it filled with a bunch of ads to try to get some revenue. And I'm not sure of how well he said that went over, but that's just to say that that's the name of the game for a lot of people and why they inject so many applications with so many ads. I don't have as much of a problem with ads, but I do have a problem with things that's like, oh my gosh, back in the day, I used to love Oregon Trail when I was a kid and playing on the Apple IIe computers in school. And we'd have like Oregon Trail Day or whatever. And when I saw that Oregon Trail, there was a version of Oregon Trail available on a cell phone. I was like super excited. I was like, oh, I can't wait. And then get in, and you find out basic activities are behind paywalls. Like, oh, Chloe got dysentery, but in order to heal her, you could either earn 5 million coins by playing the first level for 1,000 hours, or hear me out, or you can pay us $10 in real cash, and that way Chloe will be healed from her dysentery. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm done anyway. But yeah, as far as cell phone games and stuff, it's all about the money. Years ago, Puff Daddy, whom I love, and I'm not one of those no Diddy people. I am Diddy all day, and not. It would take me so much to just explain that joke. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't even say it anyway. So Diddy is totally cool. I will say the song. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about the question, y'all. And the question is, what are, see, I turned the brightness all the way down so I could conserve battery. And now I don't see a thing. What are your better than 90% of the population? Wait, oh, what are you better at than 90% of the population? I don't know. And I will say this. This is why I have a problem with such questions, especially having experience working in numbers and surveys and stuff. I even call people out on stuff like this when people ask what, like, it's better than 90%, or I think that I am more than most people. And my question, whenever somebody says most, and this is why I will say things like more, I do it more than many, and I do it more than a lot, or less than a lot, or whatever. But you haven't surveyed a population to be able to say, I do it more than most. You're just guessing and having fun guessing, saying, I do it more than most people. Do you really? Who have you surveyed to compare against the majority of the population? What quorum? Ooh, yes, Robert's Rules of Order, and I think I got that from church. But what quorum have you obtained to determine that you are better than 90% of people? That you have it down that far that you can say 90%. Stop. Something that I do, I guess, a lot more than the average. And I can't even say more than the average person. I don't know. Something that I dedicate a lot of time to is I do dedicate a lot of time to #VersTV. I do enjoy my job. I dedicate a lot of time to that. I do. I dedicate a lot of time to my baby. Yes, we actually talked today. Yeah, I'm doing that thing. Oh my gosh. Whatever. Whatever. But I dedicate a lot of time to my baby, and he dedicates time to me. Oh my gosh, y'all. I have enough time to say this really. Wait a minute. I didn't even give my song yet. No, I don't have time to say that. just suffice it to say, my baby is sweet and beautiful. Yes. And I love him. And he thinks about me as I think about him. And we're really building, you guys. Oh my gosh. Like, I have somebody to build with. And that is okay. My song this week, my newer song this week is 2022's I Like You. Yes, and I like him. Yes, I like, yeah, I almost said my baby's real name. Yes, I like you, baby. Yes, the song is I Like You, subtitle, A Happier Song. And I like just that idea in general, just like that concept of talking about happy things. And it's by Post Malone featuring Doja Cat. And I will say, part of what yeah. I like that it's again a happier song, and that's what it's about. But technically, when you get to, and I particularly like the clean version of that song. That is what I enjoy. I deliberately attempt to never, ever play the other versions, but I have my personal reasons, and I'll just leave it at that. But the clean version is marvelous, absolutely. And and this is featuring Doja Cat from his album 12 Carat Toothache. That's cute, right? And I first heard this song at the gym. And I was like, oh, I like the rhythm and the beat. And I don't know exactly what they're talking about, not on the first listen, but there's a lot of stuff that I like about it. Anyway, I love that it's a happy song. I love the melody. I almost said medley. Melody from heaven. And also, I'll say this about Post Malone, and this isn't where he took his music. At least I listened to a lot of that album, 12 Carat Toothache, and he wasn't really doing that. But there was a part in this song that Post Malone kind of belts a little bit. And I'm like, oh my gosh, are you going to bring back male belting? Yes, because it, and please don't. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I bet he could on the album somewhere just give me a little bit of so please don't make, and it's like, oh, just a little bit of belting with a little bit of sustain, and I would be there. But that's not his thing. His thing is kind of like rap singing with a little bit. He really has a sound. And I think that's cool. I think his sound is cool. Anyway, he does have a unique voice. Absolutely. All right, hashtag Verse TV family. Are we? My cat is here. She wants to make noise again. Aw. Hey, Muffin. Good girl. All right. All right. Like, share, subscribe, click like again, and please do not, I messed it up. Like, share, subscribe, share again, and please do not forget to click like. Thank you. All right. And topic A is
Hashtag lacking pride. Subtitle Target, apnews.com, hashtag Verse TV, A14A. AP Business. Target to reduce number of stores carrying Pride-themed merchandise after last year's backlash. By Ann D'Innocencio, updated 1:19 p.m. EDT, May 11th, 2024. New York AP. Target confirmed Friday that it won't carry Pride Month merchandise at all stores in June after the discount retailer experienced a backlash and lower sales over its collection honoring LGBTQ plus communities. Target, which operates roughly 2,000 stores, said decisions about where to stock Pride themed products, including adult apparel, home goods, foods, and beverages, would be based on guest insights and consumer research. Article continues below.
All right. So, and I just made this note because I was like, this is the first time I thought about it. I'll say as well, it's like the no bad publicity. No publicity is bad publicity. So, in reference to that, and even me talking about it on hashtag Verse TV, it's like, oh my gosh, Target's not gonna, ooh, oh my gosh. Like, oh my gosh, Target might not be carrying. And if you read the article, entire article, it does speak to the fact that they're not saying we're not gonna do Pride gear anywhere. It will be in some stores, but other stores it will be removed due to like the protesters and everything. Y'all won, yay! And it's like, so go ahead and have fun. Search your neighborhood Target to see if they're actually going to carry some Pride gear. And while you're there doing that search, don't be afraid to pick up some other items as well and get some of those if you're one of the lucky stores that does have it. And it's like everything is about that bottom line, that mean green. Anyway, I don't remember who sang that song, but that they were monumental. Anyway, and I really feel like I should, but I'm sorry, it's not off the top of my head. So, people talk about businesses participating in like pride events just for the sake of the bottom dollar, that mean green. And it's like, yeah, I get it. At the end of the day, it's a business. And also, farther in the article, they did say that they noticed that, hey, in the places where the protests were really strong, the sales actually were down. So I get it. At the end of the day, it's about that mean green. It's all about the Benjamins. Remember Puff Daddy and Lil Kim and other people did that song years ago. And it's all about the Benjamins. And Target was like, ho, it's all about the Benjamins. And our Benjamins went down. So if the Q plus community really wanted to support this cause to have us keep these gay things in the store, then they would buy, spend more money. We love you, spend more money. And it's like, well, okay. Again, it's a business. So I'm kind of not upset with them about that because it's like, you're about that bottom line. I will say this, people casually seeing Q plus merchandise while they shop, it is a good thing because it will slowly with time get people to see it as more normal and see us as more human. Just because it's like, oh, it's while I'm getting my syrup for my waffles, oh, there's a gay pride thing. Whatever, cool. Gay people live, whatever. They're normal people. And this is the thing. I bet some of those people who protested Target were also people. And sometimes it's like, do people even listen to themselves? But we're also people who say things like, I'm sorry, I don't understand why gay people have to come out of the closet. Like, it's not my business. Just do whatever, you know? And it's like you don't realize that the reason that you have a problem with gay people coming out of the closet is because that's why we need to come out of the closet because people still, not everyone is at the point that it's comfortable, that they're comfortable with people being whomever they are. We're not there yet. There are people who will protest Target for showing gay stuff because, like, we don't need all of this gay stuff out in the open. You can be gay, just not like all in my face with it, you know? Like, I mean, and it's as I was saying that, I was like thinking about even older gays and the struggle that they would have to go through. It was, I would imagine some people going far enough back here would possibly feel like it's progress that they're saying, I don't mind you being whoever you are, whatever, just keep it away from me. And there would be people who would probably possibly be like, you know what? I'm cool with that. And I'm not gonna lie, here's the truth. I would probably be one of those people who's like, well, they're saying they're cool with it as long as we're I know this is really sad. They're saying they're cool with it as long as we're not all up in their face with it. So that's progress. So you know what, baby? We can be cool and we can adhere to that request and just not be all up in their face with it. And then before that, it was, yeah, not be all up in my face with it and marry a person of the opposite gender because not marrying a person of the opposite gender is being all up in my face. I have a lot of stuff to say. Anyway, but yes, seeing it in Target stores helps people realize that, you know what? We're human too. Gay people being gay or same gender loving of what to whatever degree is fine. It's normal. And yes, every piece of humanizing of our community has a positive impact, a positive effect. It's a good thing. And I think about myself, quite frankly, and my Uber trips, Uber Lyft. And with Uber Lyft, my Uber Lyft trips, I will often, not always, often, depending on where the conversation goes, just casually insert that, hey, by the way, you're actually driving a homosexual in your car or a same gender loving individual in your car. And guess what? We've been having this conversation for what, 5, 10 minutes and getting along just fine. We're all normal human beings, you know? And by the way, I'm one of those normal human beings who, in addition, hmm, who I don't even want to say juxtapose my humanness, but who has within my humanness the fact that I am a same gender loving individual. And guess what? I'm a cool dude. Anyway, sometimes it's like we take 2 steps forward, 1.8 steps back. And it's like our effective progress is zero point 0.2 steps. And nevertheless, that is a forward motion, but we're taking 2 steps forward, 1.8 steps back. And Target taking out gay pride stuff in select stores. Search your Target today to see if your Target has it. I bet mine does. I'm not sure because I bet the one in the city does. I'm not sure if the ones in the suburbs will. Well, okay. And this is part of the reason I was totally cool choosing Cleveland as my next stomping ground for a time because Cuyahoga County is the only county in the state of Ohio that is very strongly blue, liberal, whatever that's worth, and has a neighboring county that is also blue, liberal, for whatever that's worth, Summit County. And it's like, so all of that to say, there, well, what's so interesting, and I'll say this, I live on the outskirts of Cuyahoga County, and the county right next to me is a very bright red county, bright red and justice. We don't play that ish. So sometimes when my DoorDash people go to Target, sometimes they do go to a Target in that red county. The red county I'm not hating. I mean, my gym is in that red county. It's people are people. People who need people are the luckiest people in the world. Like, share, subscribe, share again, and please do not forget to click like, thumbs up. Thank you. All right.
Hashtag for future husband, heart, subtitle tried at tonight's conversation. Hashtag Verse TV A14B. Have you ever engaged in sexual activity with a person of the same sex? Could you be with someone who has? Why or why not?
Have you ever? Anyway, so the song that connect Katy Perry sang the song I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It. I messed it up a couple of weeks ago. I was like, she said, I kissed a boy and I liked it. And no, her lyric was I kissed a girl and I liked it. That was its purpose. And I used to playfully sing that I kissed a girl, it was okay. So yes, I kissed a girl, it was okay. And yes, to that question, I have. Oh, that's right, because I changed the question around. I date men. Oh, that is something I can. No, I can't say I do that more than 90% of the people, but I can say I've done that more than 90% of my time in the dating world, dating men. I date men. And the way that I asked this question to make it relevant to us in the LGBT community is have you ever dated someone of the opposite gender, or that's right, it was a sexual question. Have you ever had sexual relations with a person of the opposite gender? And I definitely, I was going to say, I didn't have penetrative sexual connection, but it's like, what is penetrative sexual connect? I was just talking with a friend of mine about that yesterday over a meal. But it's like, what is penetrative? Because at the end of the day, I don't know if it was the tongue kiss. I think it was probably a tongue kiss. Again, I was trying really hard back then, trying really hard to not be gay. And I'll also say, courtesy of tonight's conversation, this is yet another, and I select these cards at random, so they're not all this way, but this is yet another question that is hetero leaning because gay people, especially gay people my age and older, or I I will say I will just say millennials and older. Us, we have definitely had our answer to that question is we have been with, and in many cases, ourselves have been that person to physically engage with a person of the opposite gender. And that's because our generation got the, oh, well, how do you know you're gay? How do you know you're gay if you've never slept with a person of the opposite gender? How do you know? How do you know? And it's like that's the kind of stuff that we got. And it's like, how do you know if you've never tried? Fortunately, I will say, hallelujah, thank you, mommy. My mom was definitely not that way. My mom was ready for me to come out well before I was ready to come out. I was cons- I don't know. I do know where the conservative side of me developed, in spite of the fact that my mom was very liberal and open minded and welcoming and loving of all. But I developed my conservative side anyway. So that's why, in spite of the fact that we'd watch a show and my mom would be like, Aaron, you know, you can bring home a woman, bring home a man, whatever, whomever you bring home, I will welcome them with open arms, Aaron. And I did Kev on stage because he said that exact same thing with his wife. He's like, bring home a man, bring home a woman, I don't care, just come home for Thanksgiving dinner, whatever. It doesn't matter. And I'm like, yes, that is what we need. Gen Z, y'all are getting some good stuff. And yeah, my mom was one of the forerunners, just like I try to be a forerunner for stuff as well, or in the foreground of this step of progress. Good. Thank you, mommy. Yes. And yeah. And if you respond to someone who would ask that question, well, how do you know if you haven't tried? And if your response is, well, how do you know if you haven't tried the other way? Their response would be, no. Well, I I was just fortunate to be born into this wonderful way of naturally being. I am just naturally not that way. So there's no reason for you to ask me, how do I know? Because I know that the way that I'm living is the right way. Yet again, people don't even listen to themselves. It's like, pump the brakes, whatever. And when people try to force someone to be someone they're not, particularly romantically, not only are you messing with one person's life, you're messing with two people because there's also that person's partner who they attempt to try things out with. And as I was writing this, I was like, that's kind of misogyny, particularly when it happens on the gay end, because, or the same gender loving male end, because it's like, so you want this man to try it out with a woman who might be playing with her all, giving her all. And I know what that feels like to give your all in a hopeless, I don't want to call it hopeless, but to give your all to someone who it's really not meant to be, that's a problem, problematic. And it reminds me of watching Jeff Koinange live, JKL, Jeff Koinange live. FYI, Jeff Koinange is to Kenya what like David Letterman and Jay Leno are to America. Jeff Koinange is that to Kenya. And on his show, he actually had a guest. I think he had them multiple times, but this particular time was after Binyabanga Wainaina had come out as gay. And Binyabanga Wainaina is a Kenyan author who brought a lot of positive notoriety to Kenya with his writings on the world stage, his excellent writings. And he was beloved in Kenya, even after coming out. And he was on Jeff Koinange with a woman. I apologize. I don't remember exactly who she was, but she was a reputable woman as well with a reputation known. And she was talking about, and she was an ally, an ally. And she was talking about how society, because Kenya's making progress step by step, just like the rest of us, she's like, we force these gay people or these same gender loving men to live hetero lives, and we don't care about what it does to the woman. And the woman ends up in a relationship with this man who, and this hits me on the, oh my gosh, on so many fronts. But the woman ends up connecting with this man romantically, and they get married, go the distance marriage, and next thing you know, she ends up wondering, well, what's going on in my marital bed? Why is he not touching me like he used to, loving me like he used to, feeling on me, wanting me like he used to? Because he was living a lie, trying to please society. And what the woman on Jeff Koinange Live was saying, we need to let people be whoever they are. Gen Z, particularly in America, is starting to actualize that. And that's a good thing. Let people be wherever they are, fall wherever they fall. In in terms of love. I also feel badly for the, yet again, speaking for hetero men. And ultimately, I think it's much bigger than just that, but because hetero men are the only men that cannot experience. Oh, and that's actually where Gen Z does a better job because I think that they're starting to allow their hetero men to be like, you know what? And you don't have to try it out to know that you don't like it, to know that it's not you. But there are some people who want to try it out to know that it's not them. And Gen Z is starting to be more accepting of that from hetero men. One of my friends, he's bisexual, and he was talking about how he went on this date with he's older than me. How he went on a date with this woman, and he told her, he's like, yeah, I like you. You, you are. Mm, you're everything. Yes. I also want to let you know I'm a bisexual man. And he said that she straight up was like, the F, picked up her drink, slammed it in his face, and walked out on him out in the restaurant. And it's like, wow. Again, I think Gen Z is starting to do better. Yeah, and I referenced on the show Insecure and oh yeah, the Kinsey scale says everybody's somewhere in the middle. And again, Gen Z is starting to actualize that, accept that. And I don't have time. All right. Like, share, subscribe, share again, and don't forget to click like. Thank you.
Hashtag underrated hype TV A14. It's not fair. Jay Reezy, Buried Emotions, circa 2014 at underrated hype TV. Hashtag Verse TV A14C.
I've been driving around looking all over town for you. Almost begged in the rain when I looked in my review. There she go with another man and a wedding band. It hurts to see the truth. She's moving on. Hey, can't believe that you're running around with another man. To my family, I'm on looking in that review. I should be that, but I should be my own hero. That should be my life. That should be my reason. You should be my life. I thought my love was stronger. I never did you wrong, and that shouldn't be singing this song. Tell me how could you became, girl? I guess I'm through looking at my life.
Whew. I know I say it every week after the song all the time. I love that song. And that's like many people say about songs and albums and such. That song got me through. Got me through my love confusions when I was younger. And again, 2014. I said circa 2014 because I think it was between 2013 and 2014. But yeah, somewhere around there. So that means I would have been somewhere as early as late 20s and as late as 31. Anyway, But I remember where I posted this video on at Underrated Hype TV on YouTube. I actually posted a description of the song talking about how much I love that song and connect with that song. And I did a very genderless description of the man I was trying for. And I was like, oh, I can connect to this so much because I wanted him so much, and it's not fair. But at that time, and again, time heals all wounds and grows us up. At that time, I was, again, speaking very genderless. Like, oh, and yes, they are that person, and oh, I wish they would understand how much we could, because with them, not giving anybody a gender. Anyway, even though I was talking about a dude, and okay, I'm sorry. I must. Yeah, and the lyrics are so powerful. Like, and when I listen to music, I always try to connect to it or connect myself to it, even if I have to make up and fill in some blanks. But when he was like, there she goes with another man and a wedding band. It hurts to see the truth. Yay, I got the run. Actually, I did. But yeah. And other parts of the song, he was like, that man took my family. Like being with you, him being with you, those are supposed to be my kids. That's supposed to be my car and the house that I pull up to. But he took it from me by taking you from me. And he did start off the song. I'm not going to go there. Suffice it to say, he had some growing to do. And he's like, I just wanted you to wait for me, please, but you didn't. It's not so much that my guy, I was like, oh, I wanted you to wait for me, but you didn't. Wow. I just thought about this. Ultimately, what I needed was him to wait, though, because I wasn't ready. I wanted to be, but I was still like, yeah, I could be with a man and I could marry a man, but I could do it on the low and like not have to tell anybody that I have a husband and just live that life. So I wasn't ready. He was. I wasn't. Y'all, I had dudes that wanted to marry me, but I wasn't ready. And anyway, but yeah. And he says in the song, "No more looking in that rear view." And I remember my best friend, he would always be like, "I don't give anybody second chances. No second chances. If it didn't work out the first time, that means it's not going to work out the second, third, or however many other times." And I'd always be like, "I don't agree with you. People can grow and change." And he'd be like, "No, they don't." And I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm going to try it again." And it wouldn't work. I don't want to say it's because people don't grow and change, especially at that age that we were 20s, but it sure would not work out the second time either. Whatever. Yeah. And oh, when I okay. When I do this song, I think about this one particular dude who I dated off and on from my early to mid 20s up to 30. Because at 30, I started laying it on so hard, so desperate, that he eventually was like, "Look, no." And again, like we had been good. But once I hit 30, I was just laying it on so desperate because I was like, I have to find a way to make it work with him, even though I don't want to be totally out. It's ridiculous. But I would apply this song to us. And I'd be like, it's not fair. And even though at the time I believe we were both single, I would be like, again, filling in the blanks, picturing him. There he goes with another man and a wedding band. It hurts to see the truth. I did it again. Anyway, but yeah, yeah. So I would put myself on both sides of those lyrics. And I would say, well, what if I'm seeing him with another man and living this happy life and everything, and I'm still wanting him? And then I'd also say, well, what if that's him seeing me living my happy life with my husband, future husband? Hey, baby. And, but at the end of the day, I don't wish bad or unhappy on anyone. So I don't I don't want anybody to feel upset or feel jealousy or feel, oh, I missed out with Aaron because I effed up. And there he goes with another man and a wedding band. Yes, baby. Not, I love Strangers with Candy because Jerry Blank trying to, in something, she was like telling this dude who she was like, "Excuse me, I have a boyfriend. I have a boyfriend," pointing to her ringless finger. Strangers with Candy is a great show. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's it or whatever. So, did I say it all? Yeah, I just love that song. It's deep. Check out the full song by Jay Reezy. He's still out, putting out bangers because he's exceptional. Talk to you later. Hashtag Verse TV family. Peace. Hashtag VerseTV.com. That's the logo. Stay blessed. Good night.